Hello and welcome to another episode of the Flashback Cartoon Hour. I'm your loving bald host with the most from coast to coast, Nick Retro Man Lascola. And today I have two goons for the price of one. Introduce yourself, goons. We'll start off with the man to the right of me.
I'm fucking Joey.
You're fucking Joey?
I am Joey.
Wow. Did he give you consent?
Always.
And next we have...
Well, I'm also fucking Joey, but that's besides the point. My name is Rich Papa, or otherwise known as Grant.
So, welcome you guys. Glad to have you back. Granty Poo's been
here.
on a couple of recent episodes. Joey, we haven't had you on since we did Fritz the Cat.
That's right. Probably a year.
Yeah, I
so
think
now?
just about a year
We did the legendary though Scooby-Doo
on Zombie Island.
Zombie Island.
And you've
I think
been
that's actually the highest rated episode that you have currently.
it's a battle. It's a battle
I'm playing
between that and Batman the animated series, because I think that currently
Wait, are we actually up there on that? Get the fuck out of here.
That's one. So our
You
top
blowing
three.
smoke up my ass.
No, our top three, I believe, is Zombie Island, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, and Batman the Animated Series.
That's fucking
But
dope.
regardless, I wanted to get you in here. I wanted Granty Poo to be in here. And today, for the listeners, we are going to rank the Cartoon Network original series starting from like 1993 all the way up to 2005, because I wanted to try and keep part one when we do this at least 20 years and older. And so before we started recording this, we sat down and we did a lot of tiering ourselves, the three of us. And I think the listeners are going to be interested and curious to what we did. Do you want to give a breakdown, Joey, of how we like split this up for the listeners?
Yeah, so I also wanted to say, so we came to a consensus, right? Like we basically all came together and agreed like this is the list, but we all have our own separate lists, which we're gonna post at the end. Probably Nick will do on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll do a polling thing on the
we'll do a
post.
little poll, and we want you guys to say like who did it the best. But this list is basically we ranked them how usually we rank things, right? We start at S tier. I actually don't know where S tier comes from, but we love just starting there. Nick, you probably know where it comes from.
I don't know exactly. I know a bunch of video games I've been playing lately, though. There's always like you can get an A, but like you always aim for the S.
Yeah,
in ranking, right?
Yeah, somebody does know, and somebody comment if you do know. But so we start at S, right? And obviously A, B, C, D. So basically, we kind of rank these shows off of like not only relevance, but kind of how they impacted us. Like, like if you put it on, is it a show that like you're gonna be glued to that you can watch by yourself, or is it a show that basically like, oh, it's on, I'll check it out. All right. And then kind of like how significant it was to Cartoon Network as a whole. Like when you think of Cartoon Network, like, is this one of those shows that pop into your head that is kind of like a goated show? Like, so
yeah, does it have like a staying power? Well, why do you think that it should be like ranked in the position that it is? How long it lasted? What was like special? How was the writing?
Yeah.
How was the animation? How was the like storytelling, action wise? All that different kind of stuff. Now, do you boys think should we start at like the lowest tier and then work our way up to the S tier?
Yeah,
you think?
I think that's a good idea. Also, actually, you kind of hit it right on the head. But so for me, the way I kind of rank these and kind of like how we went about it, so it's basically like he was saying, like the storytelling in it, right? Basically how the environment is, like how engaging the characters are, things like that. So that's kind of like the preference,
like,
the plot.
Are people like, is the fandom of Cartoon Network, what are people like quoting the most? And like, what has a staying power? What is like, when people think about it, like, boom, that's on not just our tier list, but for a good majority, probably everybody's. I mean, everyone has their own unique opinion. Actually, that's a lie. Everyone follow what the fuck I say or else.
Right.
But that being said, Granty Poo, do you want to get us started with the D tier? So again, these are all the original Cartoon Network series starting from 93 up to 2005. And we have quite a list going. But so why don't you hit him with what we ended up agreeing with putting in the D tier? And we can jump in once you're done talking and talk about kind of the whys we put it in the D tier.
All right. Really quickly, just a quick disclaimer. We did leave off certain cartoons that aired very, very briefly. For example, the very first show that Cartoon Network ever aired, I believe it was what a Moxie or What the Moxie.
The Moxie Show.
The Moxie Show, which was it only aired for like 3 to 4 months, basically, and then it got canceled. So like shows like that, we left those off the list. There's a few others as well, but feel free to leave a comment if you really did enjoy those shows, and maybe we can revisit that in the future.
Sorry, not to interrupt, Grant. Actually, you brought up a good point. Something we should bring up here. So I know there are a lot of shows on Cartoon Network that we're not going to cover. Basically, the reason we didn't cover these is we only cover like shows created by Cartoon Network Studios. So we left out all of the shows created by Warner Bros. Studios, which is like Teen Titans, which that was for me, that was a goated. So I wanted it on here, but it doesn't. Justice League, it's not fair, right? Because those are things that have been around forever, and it's a different studio. Yes, when you think of Cartoon Network, you think of these shows, but just for this list, we wanted to stick with basically just Cartoon Network Studios, what they created and pushed out, not any other studio. So that's why you won't see Justice League, you won't see Teen Titans, things like that.
And those are series that we're probably going to end up putting in different tier lists later on in life, as you know, because we have no intention of this podcast ending anytime soon. So, you know, like we needed to pick and choose, and just for time wise, you know, to help us out, we're gonna just stick with the Cartoon Network originals / like the end of Hanna-Barbera, because like stuff like Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, and Cow and Chicken still technically were under the Hanna-Barbera banner before they created the Cartoon Network Studios and created stuff like that. And we're also going to leave off Space Ghost Coast to Coast, because it was the first series produced by Cartoon Network, but I've always grouped that in with an Adult Swim type of thing. And again, that could be a whole different episode.
Alrighty,
so you guys ready to dive into D tier?
I'm so down, I'm up.
Hey. Good morning.
So the way that we kind of categorized D tier was D tiers were kind of shows that we watched a little bit, we got a little bit of enjoyment out of, but we really didn't, you know, like C through S, we couldn't really put them any higher than the D category. So the first up, we put Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi, which for me, I'm not too familiar with that show. I know it's about two famous, well, the actors or actresses, I should say, are two famous Japanese voice actors.
So real quick, they actually, the series is an animated series based off of a really popular, like, think of K-pop, but they were, I believe, Japanese. They're a pop duo. And this was an animated series based off of that pop duo that actually exists. And they are the girls that sing the theme song to formerly mentioned Teen Titans. So the TEENTITANS. Let's go. That's them.
That's right. Too bad.
I enjoyed it. It was so short-lived. There are a lot more series when we, like, you know, we had to buckle down. We had to put these in them. It's a good series. It's just I can't put it above D.
Yeah, so from what I've seen, I like the animation. I think it's cool and all that,
Mhm.
but
Like zany.
in terms of like story and all that, like and in terms of just memory, like I really never watched too much of the show. I've seen an episode here and there, and for me, like that's the reason it's getting a D. Really, for me, like their biggest like contributing factor is the Teen Titans theme song. Granted.
And you know, they are more popular in Japan for a reason. You know, I mean, the fact that they could even come to the States and have any kind of a staying power, I feel like
And they got their own show.
yeah,
like, you know?
and like I mean, nowadays I feel like things like K-pop and like all that is popular, but back when this show came out, it
Revolutionaries.
yeah, it was like the first time of something like that crossing over to the American audience and us enjoying it.
So respect to the show, but that is why we ranked it in the D category, just based off of you know, it just doesn't for a Cartoon Network series like out of the list that we have, it does fall a little short, but still legendary in its own way.
I would probably put it above the next series.
Agreed.
Okay, so we should kind of specify. So everything that we're saying here in D, it's
no
in
particular
order,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just they all got ranked in the D tier.
Yep. So, and that's the same through every single tier: C, B, A, and S. There's every single one of them. We didn't rank them as the best in each tier. It was just, hey, these belong in S tier, and eventually maybe we can do more elaboration on, hey, this one belongs number one in S tier. This one belongs number one in A tier, so on and so forth. But
We'll do that in our individual list that Nick will post on Facebook. We'll have like the S tier and then what we think is 1, 2, 3 within the tier. But we just couldn't do it as a whole, just because I don't know. It's personal preference at that point, you know.
All right, so the other shows that we have in D tier is Life in Times of Juniper Lee, Megas XLR, and What Happened to Robot Jones. So the ones that we put in D tier, at least for my preference, I wasn't really too familiar with all these shows, so I more so left it to Nicky Pops. Nicky Pops is, he dives deep on all these shows, so he was able to give me a little bit of background on them. I did a little bit of research, but ultimately we agreed to put these in D tier, as you'll see with the rest of the list that we're going to be talking about. A lot of the shows just are more popular and are just overall better shows.
Yeah, and again, these are still good shows. We're not saying they're bad shows, just compared to these other Cartoon Network series is where we're dropping them. So for like whatever happened, I'll say it like the show. Whatever happened to Robot Jones? It was a good series. I remember watching it when it was on. I have like a nostalgia feeling toward it. I don't ever remember like sitting there and like laughing my ass off to it. And again, I'm a little bit older than Granty Poo and Joey V.
Not much older,
but just enough
where he remembers these on their prime.
But Exactamundo, dude. And like, okay, so whatever happened to Robot Jones, it was good, but I never like laughed, like belly laughed to like some of these other series.
Whatever did happen to Robot Jones?
You're gonna find out. He's homeless. He owes a supercomputer a lot of money and he's hiding.
That's right.
Megas XLR, we were talking about it earlier. I remember when it would be on like the things like Toonami and stuff. It was basically like an American anime, like an American nod to anime. It's for those that can't remember it, it's the giant robot that had like the car for an head. Had the one like redheaded chick and then the two like stoner dudes that basically build and take care of the robot. I remember it on. It was a good show, but it was on before all like the banger shows came on. So it was just something that like I remember kind of sitting through, trying to get through it before I could watch like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, One Piece, and all those for Toonami.
Yeah, so like you were saying earlier, it's basically like Dragon Ball Z will be on next, and first tune in to fucking
Yeah, and back then it wasn't streaming, so you had to sit down, and you were like, well, I guess I'll just sit down and do whatever. And we didn't have like phones just to fucking diddle away on either, so you like literally had to sit there and just wait.
It was like Yu-Gi-Oh on Cartoon Network at 10 or 11 o'clock, only at 10 or 11 o'clock, and you know, like only could catch it at that time. No streaming services, no phones. So
yeah, and again, the other series, Life and Times of Juniper Lee, it was good. Earlier I described it to these two as like think of like American Dragon Jake Long mixed with Danny Phantom. Basically, the girl Juniper Lee is like she hunts and fights magical creatures that all got out of a gem or something, if I remember correctly. And you know, some good action, but it didn't have a staying power like a Danny Phantom or like an American Dragon Jake Long. So yeah, falls to D in my opinion. And at that being said, I think we can move on to the next tier, Granty Poo Poo.
Granty Poo Poo.
alrighty,
It's up to you.
for C tier, you're gonna notice a few of these. Again, they're all these shows are pretty good, but this compared to the rest of the list, you'll see obviously our preferences and all that stuff. But feel free to leave any comments if you disagree or want to just have a collaboration about them. So in C tier, we have Eagle Con Carne, which is a spin-off of the show we all know and love, The Adventures of Billy and Mandy. My Partner's a Gym Monkey. Grim and Evil, which is also a very is similar to The Adventures of Bill and Mandy. Time Squad, and Mike, Lou, and Og. Nick, do you want to elaborate on a little bit on Evil Con Carne?
So Evil Con Carne, that comes from Grim and Evil, right? Like that's where the Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Evil Con Carne, didn't they originate with Grim and Evil?
So with let me see. Okay, so that's What a Cartoon will be in the next year, and we'll go into that in a second. But Grim and Evil basically was a series that was put onto What a Cartoon, and it would have a segment of Billy and Mandy and a segment of Evil Con Carne, which was the bear that had a human brain and like a stomach put into it, and like the stomach would talk, the brain would talk. Kind of gross looking, but funny because the bear was like stupid, but the brain wanted to take over the world. Eventually, both those series would spin off of Grim and Evil and each get their own series. And the reason why I feel like we're putting Evil Con Carne in and Grim and Evil, to tell you the truth, is because Billy and Mandy is such a big show for Cartoon Network, and we'll go into that in a little bit. But they just kind of got overshadowed with like just how huge Adventures of Billy and Mandy would become. Shows like Mike, Lou, and Og, from what I remember from back in the day, I recently tried to go back and watch a couple of episodes. Again, it was like it had some funny moments, but I wasn't sitting there like crying, laughing to some of the stuff that I was seeing. But they were like natives that lived on a like secure like tropical island, and it was like about their adventures and their wacky adventures, I guess. Time Squad was another one that fell by the waistband. It was about like a boy, a robot, and then like basically like an action star, and they would have to go back in time to different events and like basically kind of make sure that the timeline would all fix itself. Good episodes. Staying power. Is it as funny? Does it have deep moments? Not so much. Still a good show. Good to just put on in the background. I'm putting it in C. And then My Gym Partner is a Monkey was a little bit later, but I do still remember it. And it's almost kind of like Whatever Happened to Robot Jones, where kid gets put into new high school trying to adapt to being in the wrong place. Instead of a robot being in a human school, it's a human sent to a zoo school. And, you know, wacky things happen there. Funny. Jake the monkey was hilarious, and I do remember that. Particularly an episode about mustaches, and I don't know if you could tell by me and Joey, we enjoy mustaches.
That's right.
But again, not as high as the next 3 tiers that we're gonna hit. So at that point, Granty Poo, I'm passing it back to you, baby.
All right, so these were the shows that we had in B tier. B, A, and S. This is where like a lot of the shows that I watched growing up, and a lot
Like
of
the
the shows where
staples.
like I would get home from school and I would lay on the couch, turn on the TV, and these would be some of the cartoons that would come on. So we have Cow and Chicken, and there was a spin-off show called I Am a Weasel. And then we also have Sheep in the Big City. And then there was also another one, What a Cartoon, which What a Cartoon was really the first hit on Cartoon Network. And that was like the pioneer that really kind of paved a way for all the other cartoons that we're going to be talking about as well.
Yeah, because what we were talking about earlier, so What a Cartoon, it basically a lot of the shows that we talk about here on Cartoon Network and a lot of the shows that became famous, the pilot episodes were first aired on What a Cartoon. And basically it was chosen like viewers would be like, hey, like I really love seeing that chicken and the cow. Like I want more of that. So that is why What a Cartoon got placed in B tier, because like it like Grant just said, it was the pioneer. It kind of introduced all these shows to Cartoon Network and kind of set Cartoon Network at what it became. That's why hey, you could cut this out, but can you grab me a beer? we could cut this part out. It's totally fine.
You could cut it out.
We could cut it. But that's why What a Cartoon really got rated at B, is because it was that pioneer show. It introduced a lot of the shows, like with the pilot episodes that later became really big hits on Cartoon Network. So we couldn't rank that any lower, basically just for that reason, you know, like. Yeah. So it's kind of this is a very bad loose example. They're on the table, but this is kind of a bad example, but kind of like with so Flapjack, right? Flapjack kind of stemmed the way you could see that family tree. Thank you. Where basically like Regular Show, Adventure Time, all those stem from those creators. So it was kind of like that, not exactly the same, but it really paved the way for a lot of these like big hit shows on Cartoon Network to kind of get face and people to recognize them. So that is why we put that where it is. If any of that jamble made sense.
It did. It just to jump off of what you were saying, Joey, it's like Dexter is basically that series that you were saying did what Flapjack was doing.
Yep.
And we wouldn't even have Dexter if it wasn't for What a Cartoon. And having all those shorts that became these fucking huge hits that just made up all of our 90s childhoods.
And I know this probably doesn't have to be spoken because you've probably talked about this numerous times, but everything on this list is 2005 down, right? Like that's your mojo. Like it's got to be 20 years plus. So that's why you're not going to hear Flapjack. You're not going to hear Regular Show because those shows came out later. So I didn't know if we had to specify. Probably not at this point because like if you've been following Nicky Poo, like you already know.
My big mentality with it and with the show is that the reason why I picked 20 years is I feel like, as I always state, you know, my DJ name, DJ Retro Man, I'm all about the retro. And I don't think you can classify something as retro until it hits at least a 20-year mark.
I agree. I completely agree.
But Cow and Chicken, just to go into these shows, we all watched Sheep in the Big City. We watched the pilot episode, and I haven't seen the show in mad long. and it was fucking hilarious. The general that was trying to get the sheep, first of all, to build a laser that's specifically made to have a sheep to power in it, and then you're spending the whole series chasing the sheep down. But the general is fucking hilarious because that dude's definitely on coke. How hard he's grinding his teeth the entire time was just funny. He's like, we gotta get that fucking sheep.
And all the general names too. General
Oh,
Store,
yeah.
General
Yep.
Motors. That it was just that was hilarious.
So that's one of the things I actually really like about cartoons. Like at least watching them now,
Yep.
like as I like grow up, because that's something as a kid you're not going to notice, but that's something for the parents, you know, that are watching it with them, so that they can.
Yeah.
Like that. It's those little subtleties that like you see and you're like, oh shit, like that's funny.
No,
You
dude,
know?
it's funny that you mentioned that because I've brought this up a few times on the show on a couple of different episodes, a few different guest hosts that I've had on the show, and I've asked their opinions. And now that I'm a dad and I'm like actually watching kid shows now,
Papa Nick.
the difference is when these shows were made back in the day, it was the entire family sat down in one area on one couch and watched one TV. Nowadays, like
Dreaming and all that.
yeah, kid shows are specifically meant for kids, and you can tell that it's meant for kids. And there's adult animation that is now meant for the adults. And back then, it was like, oh, we're gonna sneak a couple of these things in there now, just so, you know, like a little wink and a nudge. And I'm not saying modern day shows don't do it, and maybe they do, and I'm just not watching modern day shows like that. I'm watching a little bit more modern Disney and a little bit more modern Nickelodeon, just because like to put something colorful on for Nico, but it's not hitting like the old ones.
Yeah, well, I think
And it's hard to take nostalgia glasses off too. So if you guys have a different opinion on it, again, let us know.
But I agree. I think like a lot of the older cartoons, they like part of the reason they became so popular is because like the parents would see something and be like, oh shit, like that's funny.
My dad loves Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, loves Johnny Bravo. My dad was born in 1964. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, he loved Johnny Bravo. He loved Ed, Ed and Eddie. He thought these shows were hilarious.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up a Nickelodeon show, but this is not a Nickelodeon episode, so we gotta.
The only
stay out of
Nick
that.
on this episode.
That's right.
That's right. All right, Granty Poo.
Alrighty, so now we're moving up to A tier.
Oh, wait. Well, hold on. We can't just jump over Cow and Chicken. I am so sorry,
Yeah,
dude. I got a couple of things to say about this because this hurt. But honestly, even when we did the Cow and Chicken episode, again, I have to take the nostalgia glasses off. Cow and Chicken is hilarious. It is such a funny ass show. But when we're starting to get into these other shows mix in more emotion than just the one.
So for me, Cow and Chicken, right? Like,
and I Am Weasel mixed in with it.
Yeah. So the way I was like kind of ranking these, like based off a plot, based off of storytelling. For me, what I remember of Cow and Chicken, it's all the ha-has like right away each episode. There's really no
And like a lot of gross out humor.
Yeah,
For example, I'll tell you guys, like there was a band episode, very famous episode called Buffalo Gals. And I watched this band episode for when we reviewed it, and it was fucking hilarious. So it's called Buffalo Gals, and the episode starts off Cow and Chicken are with their parents in their house, and you never see the parents, kind of like that Tom and Jerry where you only see their legs.
Love that.
And they're trying to eat breakfast, and usually Cow and Chicken eat pork butts and like wieners. It's some joke that they do. That's all. They're always eating it in like in the most gruesome way. And all of a sudden, a motorcycle gang just barrels through the front door and starts driving all around their living room, and they're all wearing buffalo like helmet, like kind of hat helmet things, and they all jump off their motorcycles and they start eating the carpet like with their teeth and ripping it off the ground. And so Cal walks over and goes, "Excuse me, sir," and like a blue-haired, like clearly lesbian chick like it's like, why, where are the Buffalo Gals? And then the mom is like, oh my god, I've heard about this gang. You bust into random people's house and eat their carpets. And I was like, whoa, Cartoon Network. And we thought Ren and Stimpy was bad. I was like, I could see why this got banned, but that's fucking hilarious too. Their theme song, they loved Cow, who's a girl, and like a hefty heifer. So they like kidnap Cow, bring him back to the base, and their theme song is they all stand around like this giant wick man, kind of like Burning Man, and they start like they hold hands in hands, and their theme song is Buffalo Girls, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. And I'm like, oh my god. And so the brother Chicken tries to rescue Cow, and when he shows up at this base, they all are like, Chicken, why we hate chicken. And you're like, chicken, what's another name for chicken? Yeah. That's right. So it's funny, but it doesn't really mix up a lot of other emotions in those episodes. Yeah.
Cut it.
Keep it. Future Nick, you know what to do.
Is it gag?
Oh shit. Yeah, and then so like what were we saying? So I Am Weasel, basically like they both kind of aired around the same time, and I Am Weasel, like the main character that was featured in Cow and Chicken.
So Cow and Chicken, it's kind of like Grim and Evil, where Cow and Chicken would have like a short segment. Because one episode would be little episodes, all in one episode. So you'd have like a Cow and Chicken, an I Am Weasel, another Cow and Chicken, another Cow and Chicken, or one episode you'll have like a Cow and Chicken, two I Am Weasels, another Cow and Chicken, depending on the episode and the shorts and stuff like that. Eventually, I Am Weasel would spin off and have its own like half-hour series, and then would do crossovers with Cow and Chicken after the spin-off.
Okay. But that's why she landed in the B category.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, engaging characters, but for me, the plot, like, it's every episode, it's all over the place. For me, anyways, like, tell me if I'm wrong, but like, there's no set, real standard plot throughout the show. Like, it's kind of just them doing their whack.
Yeah, and I feel like the most notorious person from the show is the villain, the red guy, who was like, let's just call the spade the spade. It's supposed to be the devil, but they weren't allowed to call him the devil, so they called him the red guy, and he's the one that bounces on his ass like every single episode, and he's trying to like dupe over Cow and Chicken, but when the villain becomes more famous than the actual like two main characters. All right, Granty, you can go into the A category next.
All righty, so we're going to go in the A tier. You're going to have a lot of cartoons that you're going to recognize. If you didn't recognize any of the cartoons from B through D, you're surely going to recognize these one. Very first one we got to go off is Johnny Bravo.
Pretty mama.
Yeah, we absolutely love Johnny Bravo. One of my favorites. Next, we got Ben 10. Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which we've obviously talked about the spin-off shows in the previous ones, but the Adventures of Billy and Mandy just meshed together the comedy, the characters, and the story really well. Next, we got The Kids Next Door. And then
KND, baby.
Yeah, KND, amazing show. And then we also have Star Wars The Clone Wars. No, we're not talking about the Disney one. We're talking about the animated one that was on Cartoon Network.
The very first one.
So they actually both series were on Cartoon Network,
yes.
But we're talking about the
ones
animated.
That were created.
What was it? 2000?
Yeah,
the ones that were actually
2002 to 2005, something like that.
Yeah, the not CGI one,
yes.
The 2D animation, like
where Grievous goes off.
Yeah,
like where Grievous is a menace.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was a bunch of micro. It's called a micro series because at first, like each episode was like 5 minutes long, and then like the second season would hit, and they'd be like a little bit longer and 12 seasons.
Yeah, that's the one. There's a whole episode dedicated to like Kit Fisto, and it's one of the coolest fucking anime episodes I've actually ever seen.
They fucking literally General Grievous, when you watch the third movie, has a cough.
Yes.
And at
Yes.
the end of this Clone Wars series, you see, spoiler, you see Mace Windu crushed with the Force.
Yes.
Grievous, as he just kidnapped, spoiler, Senator Palpatine, who, spoiler, is Emperor Palpatine. Spoiler, who's fucking Darth Sidious, dude.
At this point, if you don't know that, then you know.
No, but
you're
it was
fucked if you don't know it.
And
so.
I compared to the CGI series is great, and I know Santi, when he eventually hears this episode, is going to have a full blown conniption. But goddamn, this micro series one by Gendy Tartakovsky, same guy who created Dexter, same guy who created Samurai Jack. I just thought this action and so fast paced, and I'm just like never bored for a second.
Spoiler: neither of those shows have been mentioned yet. So, spoiler,
spoiler. But you knew it was coming, me right now.
Again, just as a disclaimer, we're only talking about the Cartoon Network shows that were actually created by Cartoon Network. Which the CGI one, obviously, that could be saved for a different episode, but that was not created by Cartoon Network. But again, that's an amazing show.
Yep.
Next up, we have Foster's Home, and then one of my
friend goated.
Yeah, and one of my personal favorites in the A list is also Camp Lazlo. To me, that was just that was just a show that was super wacky and hilarious, and I just remember watching it all the time and just laughing my ass off just almost every episode.
Because every character in that show was super engaging. Like they're super funny. Like they have fucking like 5 iconic characters just from that show. And then what were you saying earlier about the another spoiler? But the last episode of that.
Oh yeah, so I'll go into that. But real quick, I just want to say honestly, I fucking love this, and this was hard to even put in an A category. No, honestly, I think actually that's a lie. I think A makes sense, but I feel like this is probably our biggest sleeper pick of the whole list that you're seeing, because like the three of us love Camp Lazlo, but Camp Lazlo, I feel like, is one of those series that's just never talked about. When you hear Cartoon Network, it's not something that like you hear a lot of people bringing up.
Debatable.
Well, because we love it, but like when I hear other people talk about Cartoon Network, I don't really feel like I hear Camp Lazlo. If it does get brought up, it's kind of like a kind of, hey, me too.
Camp Lazlo.
But Camp Lazlo is basically the spiritual successor to Rocko's Modern Life. Same creators who went from Nickelodeon, came to Cartoon Network, created Camp Lazlo, to the fact that, spoiler, in the final episode, you find out that Camp Master Lumpus, the moose, that's been a fucking nightmare for Lazlo, Clam, and Raj, the entire series, you find out that he actually was a mental patient that had broken out of the mental hospital and kidnapped the actual camp master before the whole series started, and then was posing as the camp master the entire time. Which is just honestly one of the best, like in a comedy kids series cartoon, one of the best twists that I've ever seen in the like Gravity Falls or like Over the Garden Walls or whatever the that other series is. Like this, I can't think of another series that has such a big finale twist than, hey, you know, this guy who's been, it'd be like Squidward being like, I'm actually not even a squid, I'm a fucking I'm a human the whole time.
That's right. I need my big old nose.
But you find out that Heifer Wolf from Rocko's Modern Life was the camp counselor, and that Lumpus had kidnapped him, tied him up, locked him in a closet the entire summer, and not only that, but shaved him from head to toe. Because he shows up in the final episode, same voice actor who is Tom Kenny, who is also the voice of SpongeBob, came back and voiced him, and like flat up was like, "That's him. That's the guy who like locked me away. Take him away." And then the final scene is like you watching Lumpus getting arrested and thrown into like the crazy bin, and you're just sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? So fucking hilarious. Sleeper pick. Great series. Spoiler. Love you all.
And then Foster's Home is another one that's iconic. Like there's not like at least our generation, there's not a single person that didn't watch Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. One, it's just an amazing concept, right? Great storytelling, great characters. For me, like that, like I know, like, hey, we're all gonna have our own lists at the end. We'll post them. For me, dude, that show is one of my favorites on Cartoon Network. Like I would love hitting up some Foster's Home at the end of the day or after school or something like that. Like it was just one of those shows that's a staple for me.
Dude, Wilt is a G, right?
Wilt is a G.
Wilt is a fucking G, bro. Yo, and he's just the nicest fucking dude that you've ever seen.
Dunk on anybody. And for that to be like a fucking imaginary friend, dude, whoever plotted him up, like kudos to you, dude.
And shout out to Jellystone, who had a big crossover between all the Hanna-Barbera characters and the Cartoon Network characters, where Ed from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friend, you know, like the big monster one that's afraid of everything, that loves potatoes. He walks up with Ed, and Eddie, and he goes, "Hey, everybody, I'm the fourth Ed." And they all became friends. So that was fucking awesome that they did that. But cheese is all I have to say. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah, but he was crazy. Yeah. So Loki.
Lady.
I just had a Dutz moment, dude. Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh, 100%.
I just had a Dutzy moment.
No, he was more based off of Michael Jordan. Come on.
Get out of here.
The tongue, when he dunks and he does the whole, you remember the movie?
They might take things from him, but Wilt Chamberlain, bro.
I think a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
I might be going too far into it.
I mean, I'm not
saying. Like, I was like, wait a minute.
But I'm saying I'm fucking right.
But no, that show for me, like that was one of my staples growing up. Anyways, Foster's Home for Imaginary
Codename Kids Next Door. Fucking come on, real quick. Do you guys have a favorite member of the crew?
5. She was a fucking kick-ass fucking chick.
Honestly.
She was a kick-ass cool cat. Like, I fucked with her.
What about you, Granty Poo? Did you have a favorite for the Codename Kids Next Door?
It's 5. It's the exact same character.
5, bro. That's what I'm saying.
It's like, the exact same character.
So for me, it's a toss-up between, like, 5. I really like number 2.
Me too, dude.
I really love number 2, and then maybe number 4, just because number 4 was kind of like... They played him off as like the dumb one, right? But he was cool. Like I really just liked his character. But for me, if I have to choose a favorite, it's 5, bro. Like
5 is mine.
Cool.
But I feel like now that I'm follically the way that I am, I have to pick number 1.
No, I was gonna say number 1's my second favorite.
No, absolutely, dude. Even Nigel Uno, boys wearing sunglasses inside, outside, doesn't matter. Always wearing sunglasses. You know that he's a fucking savage. And fun little fact for anyone who doesn't know, the voice actress of number 3 also plays Amy Wong on Futurama.
Get the fuck out of here.
So if you know,
I
Amy,
feel like every time we do a podcast, I learn something new. This is
the
your
Flashback
guy.
Cartoon Hour,
Exactly.
located on every podcast platform: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Close your eyelids, you're gonna see me.
Spoiler
I promise,
alert.
baby.
He's got a lot of knowledge in that bald noggin of his.
Oh yeah, no, that's fucking kick ass.
And then, I mean, come on, Ben 10, Johnny Bravo.
Ben 10's iconic. Ben 10 is something like, dude, the amount of the amount of toys they made off of Ben 10, dude, like. There isn't a kid around that didn't want the wristband. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The Omnitrix, dude.
And shit going there. Like, I would try and pick that
100%. I think it's unique when you can make a superhero that's not just Marvel and DC.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting it a little bit more now with like Invincible and The Boys and stuff. But those are like super rated R and stuff.
But
like
those are comics beforehand. Anyways, like I this is where I don't know. I don't think Ben 10
No, never was. Nope.
Yeah, it originated on here.
It created comics after, but it never was a comic originally. This was like a unique idea of boy gets. I could just play the theme song.
10 out of 10 originality.
Yes,
Honestly.
and then Johnny Bravo is just like everybody knows that poor soul who can't get a single date ever. The best he ever did was he went on a date with a deer, like an actual antelope.
And I'm not gonna lie, dude. The game that he had, like, I don't understand how it didn't work out.
Oh, dude. Hey there, pretty mama. You and me. Why don't we go learn the ABCs?
Johnny, baby. Johnny Bravo.
Fucking
Johnny Bravo.
No, you don't, dude. Savage. The creator, Van Partible, knew what he was doing. He did such a good job with that series.
I like another thing with this whole tier list
and the crossover. He literally has an episode where he crosses over with Scooby-Doo.
Legendary.
Whole episode dedicated to it, and then they do a little throwaway like crossover scene later, and it's the funniest thing. Johnny Bravo forms a rivalry with like Santa. It's like one of those Christmas episodes. Santa gets hurt. Johnny has to take the reign for the night and like deliver all the gifts to the boys and girls.
Yeah.
Johnny ends up giving Scooby-Doo a gift while he's Santa, and Scooby's like, right. And he like opens up his like stocking and he goes, vocal message. Oh, thank you very much. He like went to a speech therapist. That was it. He fucking got him a speech therapist
All right,
appointment. Okay, yeah. Okay, so and that's Johnny Bravo, and then like just to talk about the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy, dude, Jamaican Grim Reaper that you forced to be friends with you by beating him in a limbo competition, and then he's bound for the rest of eternity to be your best friend. And the way that like the voice actor of Grim is just so funny because like he's friends with them, but he also hates them, but he like is still friends with them. Then you get such like big players like Frederick Berger, or like just Billy's dad, just so many Hoss Delgado, just so like fucking so many big.
I love the concept of the show, right? You got two nonchalant kids. Yes, Mandy is intense as hell, badass girl, right? Like she's like
to the point that she took Medusa over. They did a crossover special of the codename Kids Next Door and Billy and Mandy, like a whole little mini movie about it.
Yeah,
and Mandy's so evil, she fucking posed as number one, Nigel Uno, and then took over the entire codename Kids Next Door, like the whole organization, not just their little faction. She took over the entire organization, was going to destroy the world.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I love the concept of like, you got this girl, right? Like Mandy, who
looks
cold,
cute, pink dress, like, but is
evil.
just,
more evil than the actual Grim Reaper himself, right? Mind you. And then you got Billy, the most nonchalant kid in the world,
just that
somehow just like also just like brushes off anything that happens to him in the show. And I feel like Grim Reaper is the one that's always getting hit with the
always, dude. I mean, there's a lot of gross out humor too. I feel like we were getting, for cartoons, we were kind of getting out of that gross out, like picking the nose, throwing a book like a giant booger type of thing. Like that was on its way out, and Billy and Mandy was able to get the last of it in there, but do it in a good way where you're not just sitting there being like, all right, okay. I mean, a couple of too many fart noises for me. I'm not a big fart joke guy, but I mean, other than that, it was fucking hilarious. Everything about that show is hilarious. You're hilarious. Grant's hilarious. Hilarity. That's right.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Perfect timing.
So that one rip.
And at that point, I say, we finally get into this.
The sexy tier, the S tier, the best of the best.
Yeah, sexy time tier.
Yes.
So
spiced up.
These are shows that everyone's gonna know. These are honestly the best of the best. Honestly, you can rank any one of these the number one show on Cartoon Network, and I
wouldn't argue with you.
And I won't argue with it. So,
but at the end of the episode, real quick, at the end of this tier, I am gonna ask you two which one you would definitively put out of just the S tier. Like out of everything you see in S tier, if you had to pick one to rule them all, which one's it gonna be? And we'll go into that at the end. So continue, Granty Boo.
So we'll start off with Dexter's Laboratory. Absolutely amazing show. Top 3 for me, 100%. If you put it number 1, I wouldn't argue with it. Like I said, any of them. If you put any of them,
fantastic series.
Powerpuff Girls, one of my favorite comedic shows ever, and Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Courage the Cowardly Dog used to scare the living fucking shit out of me.
I think every single person. If you told me that Return the Slab didn't scare you, I would call you a fucking liar.
Somebody hit his scream. Who can do the scream?
No, I can't.
Somebody hit the scream.
I can't do the scream, but I can do Courage going, the things I do for love.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Kelsey loves, there's that episode where Muriel gets hit by the tornado and becomes a baby. And there's a whole fucking scene, and I quote it all the time. And me and Kelsey,
the mac and cheese.
It's the mac and cheese.
Yeah,
he starts cooking for her because she's like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right. And he makes mac and cheese. And she goes, more cheese.
Yeah.
Makes it more macaroni. And then he does more,
too much cheese.
Too much cheese. Makes it again. Not enough macaroni. And then he does it again. And then she's like, perfect. And then just slaps the plate away. And he's like, what? Why? And then she's like, I hate macaroni and cheese. And I was like, this fucking bitch.
And last but not least, the one that's going to round out the S tier for us was Samurai Jack.
And S tier on an S show name, Back to the Past. Back to the Past, it's Samurai.
Do we hit Ed, Edd n Eddy?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh, of course we did.
I misheard.
I
mention it, but if you want to add something in on Ed, Edd n Eddy, I mean...
So for me, Ed, Edd n Eddy, one of the biggest staples in that show was the Jawbreakers, right? Like I saw
everybody. Everyone wanted one of those jawbreakers. I'm not even a jawbreaker liker. No. When I finally had a jawbreaker in real life, I was like, "Oh,
subpar.
Dude, what the fuck?"
Subpar compared to what that show provided. Like that for me, like just watching them stick that fucking giant ass fucking
the whole thing,
actually, but like
the whole thing,
shoving that shit in their mouth and just
pause.
Pause, bro.
You like putting balls in your mouth, and trust me, off camera, we do plenty of that.
But you can't even argue with me, dude. That like made you want to get a jawbreaker.
100%.
Like that was iconic. And then Plank, iconic fucking character in that show. And low key, that's another thing we were talking about earlier, where it's like that adult humor. Plank had, I feel like I don't even know if I should say this.
We're an adult show.
That's
so
right.
Go ahead.
Plank had that fucking hole in his mouth. Like that was his fucking spot, bro. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, dude. What the fuck's going on here? That's what iconic, dude.
Johnny, no, Johnny. Johnny, no, Johnny.
What are you doing, bro?
The splinters, Johnny. Too many splinters, dude.
Hey,
no, Johnny.
I'm just saying, dude.
He was figuring things out, okay?
These are things that you notice when you rewatch these getting old. Because as a kid, dude, right over my fucking head.
No idea. Well, did you ever hear the fan theory on Ed, Edd n Eddy that each kid in the cul-de-sac is a different dead era?
Yes. So, like that's one of my favorite things about the show. At least what I read is it's basically they're in purgatory, right? Like every single kid.
This is a theory,
Allegedly, every kid is dead, right? And they all come from a different era.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who starts it off. Or
I want to say it's Rolf. I want to say like Rolf is supposed to be like 1920s or 1910s, something like that, because he's the shepherd. He's used to not having like the technology. He's out in the fields all day doing the different things.
Is it Kevin with the backwards hat? I think he's the 90s.
Yeah, you know what chick plays Kevin? I found that out recently, that a chick voices Kevin. dorks. I'm like, what?
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's a chick that plays Kevin. It upset me a little bit. I'm like, why? Why are girls always going? I guess they got to go for that whole prepubescent thing. But there's because Ed and Eddie are all voiced by dudes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that show has so many iconic characters, and when I
Ralph,
read that,
honestly, Ralph is my top dog in that series.
Ralph,
yeah, he fucking kills me. The son of a shepherd. They're like, dude, it fucking does that whole duel to the death with Eddie with the fish, and they're slapping the shit out of each other, dude.
No, I will say
Ed always wanted to steal his chickens.
Ed is my favorite dude, and then him being so gutsy when the three, what are they called, the sisters,
the Canker sisters,
bro. Ed is always just and he always gets grabbed, bro. Ed is my favorite by far. Granted, all the characters like anyone could, like, if you chose anyone as a favorite, like, I'm not gonna argue with you. It's one of those things.
Ed is my favorite.
Ed is by far my favorite.
Hi, my name is Ed.
I've listened to the voice actor talk about like what his favorite lines are, and he's like, bro, they literally just had me being like, I like butter toast. He's like, I just said the same shit all the time.
I'm hungry.
Like, come on.
My favorite is when they have to build, like, they have the company and they always just want to go up, up, up. That's their goal, is to go up. And Ed, the entire episode in the background is just fucking stacking shit upon stacking shit upon stacking shit.
Yep.
And then finally are like, Ed, the fuck are you doing? He's like, we gotta go up. And they go all the way up to the moon. And then everything he built like fell down. So the three of them are stuck on the moon, freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Cartoon logic. I don't think we heard you say that. Nope, you still.
Technical difficulties. I think I just stunk. Like, I think I said something into the mic, but apparently I did.
Yeah,
I thought my thoughts.
Oh man, do you remember the whole episode that Ed got like super fucking pissed and was just mad and like ripping everybody apart? And they're like, "What the fuck's wrong?" And you find at the very end of the episode, he had a little pebble in his shoe.
Yeah.
He gets so mad throughout like all the episodes. He's the one that gets so mad, blows his top so quick, but it's hilarious.
No, that's Eddie. Eddie blows his top.
Eddie's like the money maker.
Yeah,
Eddie's like the money hungry, greedy one.
Yep.
I'm gonna say the name you think I'm gonna call.
And then there's Double D, right? Double D's the smart one. He's
the smart one with the black hair. Yep.
Yeah, like honestly, like so for me, like I love Ed, like not fucking not Double D, right? Like dumb Ed. I don't want to say that, but you know.
Yeah.
That Ed.
He was, you know, he's all right. Dumb, watched cartoons
of Mice
all
and Men,
the time.
Dude. He's fucking big boy. He's fine.
I mean, at some point you got to just stop watching cartoons and, you know, grow up.
No. Absolutely not.
Just kidding.
But what the fuck was I just saying?
Honestly, dude, it's still got to be for me. I'm gonna pull up a couple of Ralph quotes real quick because it's just
the Ralph, dude. I'm not gonna lie, that came out of fucking nowhere. I did not expect that. Like, he's a great character. Don't get me wrong. He's funny as fuck. But like, number one.
Oh, 100%.
Number one.
Listen to a couple of these quotes. I can't just like pop them off.
Even over
100%.
Jimmy with those fucking braces, dude.
Oh, fuck Jimmy, dude. Fucking Jimmy is the fucking biggest little narc, dude. Always crying to Sarah, and you just want to like slap him and be like, dude, be a man.
I like Jimmy.
Okay, so these are a couple of Ralph quotes. Ready? The burden of hospitality is too great for Ralph. Ralph's tractor is not for sale. This is Ralph's load of Bologna. You will not have it. I am Wiener. Hold on. These are not that good. No, these are just random people saying shit. I don't know if it's...
Are you on Reddit again?
You're not convincing me on Ralph, my
Cut
friend.
it.
You need to cut it, my friend, yes.
You need to cut it. Yes.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's because he would be so random with it. Kevin, the weight of banana are crushing Ralph's apples. Ranger Johnny, why have you not chosen this day to rupture Ralph's pumpkin nickel? Like, he's so random with the fucking shit he goes off on. A turnip for your thoughts, Kevin? I don't care what you guys say. Ralph, I'm sticking with Ralph as my goated.
All right, fair.
This is why
He's
you're
goated.
bald. This is why you're bald.
This is why I'm not.
So Powerpuff Girls, that's one of those shows that's just it's cool.
A little thing for everybody on paper.
Yep.
It looks like it should be a girly show, 3 girls.
Absolutely
but
not.
Nope, they fucking
Jojo
beat
Mojo.
the shit out of their villains.
Jojo
Literally,
Mojo.
These dudes are fucking losing teeth.
Mojo,
their
Jojo.
brains are sticking out of their skull. Like they're
So that's the craziest part of that
blood
show, right?
squirting out of their mouth.
They're superheroes, and they are literally like, it's like that Batman shit, right? Like, Batman doesn't kill his villains, and neither do they, but they beat the
fucking
living shit
out of them. Do you know that originally the show was called Kick-Ass Girls? And then they got told that they had to change it, and so he changed it to the Powerpuff Girls.
That's a better fucking name. A more fitting name.
Imagine the Kick-Ass Girls.
And
coming up next at 8 o'clock,
dude,
on Cartoon Network, the Kick-Ass Girls.
As a kid watching the show, one of the most iconic villains for me, I cannot remember his name, but the devil with the claws, Tim.
Yep.
Dude, his voice.
He freaked me out, dude. He freaked the fuck out. Oh, yeah. Especially any episode that he would be like the villain. It always like they would be going into the future. And again,
it's
like,
all warped and shit.
Yeah, he was the one who destroyed all of Townsville. And he's like basically the devil. He can change shape. He's like their biggest threat for sure. I can't think of a single villain.
What's his name? Mojo Jojo or Jojo Mojo? The Monkey Man.
Mojo Jojo.
Mojo Jojo.
I am.
He's funny. He's a funny villain, right? Like, you don't take him too serious.
Is like scary.
Him is scary.
And Fuzzy Lumpkin too. When that dude got pissed, like, you know, he was goofy when he wasn't pissed, but when he got fucking pissed. And also, just because I'm a huge Gorillaz fan, shout out to the Gang Green Gang, because Ace replaced Murdoch on the Gorillaz, and was like, because the creators of the Gorillaz and the Powerpuff Girls, Craig McCracken and David Albarn, I believe, or maybe it was the guy who did Tank Girl, I forget. But the creator of the Gorillaz are really good friends, to the point that in the Powerpuff Girls movie, you can see someone's holding up a newspaper, and the Gorillaz are on, like, the fictional band, you know, the Gorillaz.
Yeah,
they're like a couple of things of like them in the movie.
Have you ever seen their MTV Cribs?
Oh yeah,
fire.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's totally animated.
Dude,
I love that.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I eventually I want to go through all the Gorillaz like music videos, and like, because it all tells a story. But to get the permission to have Ace, but the only rule was that Ace wasn't allowed to talk, I think, so that they could avoid like Cartoon Network suing or something. But Ace joined the team as the guitarist, and he like jumps on and jumps off from time to time.
Yo, who's that character in Powerpuff Girls that was like a pimp? He had like a cane, and he like leaned back, and he was sliding around, coming out of the
limousine. That's the boogeyman.
Yeah,
that was the
dude,
boogeyman, dude.
That character was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a great episode. They spend the entire episode, at the very beginning, the boogeyman shoots like this ginormous rocket ship that's a disco ball, and shoots it in front of the sun so that it blocks out the sun, and all the monsters. It's honestly hilarious scenes, because they're like literally kids like being tucked in, and they're like, "Mommy, there's a monster on the bed," and the parents are like, yeah, all right, Timmy, go to bed. And then like the monsters actually fucking just like rip the bed open, and like 20 of them come running out, and the kids freaking the fuck out. Hilarious scene.
Now that I see him as an adult, I'm like, he looks like a fucking pimp. He looks like a fucking pimp.
100%.
He looks like a fucking pimp.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, he looks like Snoop Dogg from like the 90s. Like, he's walking out there. He should have just had Snoop voice him.
Pimp named Slipback.
Oh my God. Just like actually have Snoop come out and be like, "Hey, y'all, snippity dip."
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And then to close it all out, I mean,
Samurai Jack.
What, did we do Dexter's Lab?
So we haven't we talked about Courage. We talked about Ed, Edd n Eddy, Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory. Whichever one you want to start with, guy. This is your show.
Yeah, but you're the special guest host. You're the one who's not wearing pants right now.
Oh, fuck.
Right. Let me tell you right now, you can see him in the background.
None of us are wearing
He may be wearing a shirt, but none of us are wearing pants.
All right, let's jump into Samurai Jack. I feel like you're going to be wicked passionate about it, Joe. So I'll let you go.
Samurai Jack is actually that for Cartoon Network shows. That's probably my favorite. So Samurai Jack, like you got Samurai Jack, very engaging character. Like he's this mysterious samurai that's basically like avenging his fucking his. I don't want to say village, but like where he came from, right? Like
kind of like his village, his people got fucked up by Aku.
Yeah, and like Aku fucks everything up for him, and then he gets warped into the future, right? Because like
before he was gonna hit he beat him because of a magic sword that like ran in his family that had magical ability to it. It's the only thing that can cut Aku.
Yes,
and right before, and this is all in the theme song too, but right before he lands that like killer blow, Aku sends him into the future.
Yep.
And that's where the show takes off.
And then, so for me, like great characters, great storytelling, and for me, what puts this show a tier above everything else is the environment, right? Is where these stories take place. Like it's something new every episode. There's an episode where like he's trying to get to the tower because like there's like some there's like the it's not a fountain. It's not a fountain. But it's like some like little what the hell is it? I don't know. It's something where he's trying to like get into it, and like it will give him like it will basically either teleport him to Aku or it gets him to him.
Right.
And like that's a snowy environment with this cool ass archer. And then first episode of the series, like once he gets teleported out of his age into the future, it's this cyberpunk. Fucking like he's in this random bar. It's just cool. It's different environments every episode, and I love that. I love that with shows like.
And it's like although the Earth is like so advanced, but also super run down because Aku has been running the entire planet for like thousands of years up until like Jack popped back out from the other side of the time vortex or whatever, and it's a really all intertwined in a way because Craig McCracken also, worked on Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls. In fact, there's a fan theory that the city of Townsville is the first city that Jack ends up in. And
it is actually. I was actually just going to bring that up. They actually do exist in the same universe. The first episode, literally, they walk through the ruined town, or the ruined version, I should say, of Townsville, and there was a talking dog sign, which is identical to a sign from the Powerpuff Girls. So. Literally, I think to me, it's confirmed. And this is just establishing the connection between the post-apocalyptic world of Samurai Jack and then the destroyed future of the Powerpuff Girls world, which I honestly thought was crazy.
And there's another connection, and we'll go into Dexter's Lab in a minute, but there's a segment in Dexter's Lab where there's a superhero monkey named Monkey, and literally just a monkey that just puts on an outfit and has superpowers. And there's a lion, like it's an alien, like think of like Kraven the Hunter. He's supposed to be like, he hunts down the best hunt that could be. Essentially, he's the predator, right? Like he's supposed to, but he's a lion, humanoid lion that's like, I'm coming here and I'm hired by Aku. I need to hunt Samurai Jack. Well, Monkey in Dexter's Lab fights literally the same, like a person from the same species, a different guy, but it's the same lion alien species. It's confirmed that is so, like they're all intertwined in a way. And just the action, humor is really on point too, making you laugh. Really fun action scenes. Animation is kicked up. I think without Samurai Jack, you're not getting show because like it's such a nod to anime and the old samurai movies that even like they say like think of westerns, like the good, bad, and the ugly, two like guys standing in a duel, getting ready to pop each other. That was all supposed to be like a westernized version of the old samurai movies that used to have them fighting with the swords. And so to have all these things, really, Samurai Jack is almost the first American anime that came out, because then you get shows like Megas XLR, who doesn't really hit the mark that much, or Avatar, who hits the mark very, very much.
The best.
Yeah. And again, hits the reason why we're putting it in S tier is because
It deserves to be.
Yeah, it can create all these different emotions while watching just one show, opposed to like, oh, it's just a really funny show. Oh, it's just a really violent show, or it's just a really like action, good animated show. You know, it's got a little bit of everything in there for it.
10 out of 10.
And then final, we have Dexter's Laboratory. And I'm just going to say right now, before, that's how he says it. Didi, get out of my laboratory. I just think like Dexter is the most important Cartoon Network series because we were talking about it. We were trying to place things into what the category. And I said with Dexter, not only did it have all these writers, animators, directors spin off and do other cartoon series, but then you also have Butch Hartman, Seth MacFarlane, who created Family Guy, first worked on Dexter's Lab. And like they were all on that. And then they spun off and did shows like Fairly Odd Parents. And then just like Dexter's Lab has a whole episode dedicated to Speed Racer, right? Go look at Channel Chasers, the movie of Fairly Odd Parents, and they do a whole Speed Racer like segment the exact same way that Dexter did. And that's because Butch Hartman did both. You know what I mean? And like, you just see the influence in everything. Not to mention, really funny. Can get wicked action packed at times. Like and it's Tartakovsky, so the guy who created Samurai Jack and the Star Wars: The Clone War. So you're really getting like a good sense of like what he can do before he actually spins off and does like just a action show opposed to like a comedy action show.
Another fun fact is Tom Kenny from SpongeBob is also in it. He plays Val.
In Dexter's Lab?
In Dexter's Lab.
He's Tom Kenny, dude.
Yep, Tom Kenny. He's a man of many arts.
From the Justice Friends, who is a hilarious segment. I'm getting it mixed up. Justice Friends shows up a lot because it started off where it was like a lot of Dexter shorts and a lot of Monkey shorts, and then Monkey kind of falls to the wayside, and Justice Friends takes over. Val Holland, who's supposed to be like the god of rock. Basically, he's Thor, but he's a rock and roll star, and he gets his power from his axe. I'll get my power from my ox, dude. My ox. And then you have the Incredible Crunk, who's supposed to be like a purple, like lovable version of the Hulk. You get Major Glory, who's supposed to be like Superman mixed with Captain America. And he's the best superhero, but also he's like wicked into the limelight and wants to be like the center of attention. And it's not really them going on superhero like missions. It's like modern day stuff. It's them living in their apartment, like trying to get along together, trying to like deal with each other's stuff. Like it's just fucking brilliant. Dexter's Lab is so good. The movie's good. Where Dexter has to go throughout different points in time and collect different Dexters, fight different Mandarks. Didi is fucking hilarious. It's just primo, and I think it's the top tier. Without those, like I said to you guys earlier, you can't have a Mount Rushmore without having George Washington, right?
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone, go the fuck home. No, I'm just kidding. But all right, looking into the S tier now that we've gone through the entire list. S tier, Granty Poo, which one do you put at number one?
So for me, I'm a massive comedy fan. Again, all of these were funny in their own way, scary, great story. For me, it's Ed, and Eddie. 100%. Ed, and Eddie. That's my top
Good
dog.
Choice. Good
That's
choice.
my top dog. Right behind there, I think, is Dexter's Lab. And then you could put any of the other three there, and to be honest, I don't know. I probably would like one day be like, oh, Powerpuff Girls number 3. Yeah, Samurai Jack right there. Oh, Courage
when
right
you guys
there.
When you guys send me your list later and I post it on the Facebook page, people will get to see like how we actually like individually as opposed to us coming to an agreement and making the list. you'll see like what our individual series and how we rank them that way.
Yeah. So the way that we could do it, honestly, is like, so we'll do the post where we post our 3 individual rankings, right? And then we'll post this one too. And you guys let us know, like, who did it the best? Did we all come together and was that the best list? Or do one of us individually have the best list? And even if you don't agree, like, vote on one and then basically like tell us you're choosing. Like,
Yeah.
we'd love
Give
to
us
hear
a
it.
couple of rankings of your own.
Yeah.
But only go up to 2005. Don't fucking dare go to 2006. I swear to God.
Only Cartoon Network Studios, like, because like if we had Teen Titans, in here,
Warner
Justice
Brothers
League,
and all that stuff.
you know,
it's
like
gonna
it
get too
changes
big
the
too
list.
long. You're like, look, we cut that out and we're already at an hour and 16
That's right.
minutes.
But for me,
Yes,
if
I was
I
about
had,
to that.
yeah, if I had to choose a number one, I think I already said it, but Samurai Jack for me is the number one Cartoon Network show that was aired. Honestly, the animation in it, what they did in it,
So
the
fucking good.
storytelling,
Yep.
like for me, that show grabbed me the most, and that show
I would probably say it's my number 2.
Yeah, that show for me was just it hit home. It was a staple. I don't know if I should say it hit home, but it just sunk with me in a different way that every other show on this S tier did. Not to say that these aren't all fucking great shows, because they are. That's why they're
And
S tier.
honestly, also, I'm just gonna say it right now: Samurai Jack would fuck up Naruto and Sasuke, and also
You
Zoro.
are absolutely bugging. And guess what? Naruto can beat Goku.
You fucking now who's bugging, you son of a bitch, dude. My guy can fight someone who. My guy fights somebody who taps a table, blows up a planet. What's your guy
sheep
do?
in the sheep in the big city is gonna fucking absolutely body on
Yeah,
Goku.
yeah,
One finger. His pinky
He's
finger.
the one. The sheep in the big city is the one to rule them all. He beats everybody. He beats Naruto, Goku, Sailor Moon, anyone you can
everybody.
name it. Sheep is God. Sheep
One
is
finger.
love.
Sheepy
Sheep
two
is life.
taps.
Sheepy two taps.
Sheepy two taps.
Because he taps you twice. One hit.
Oh,
and
I'm
then
Goku. I'm just gonna get
He
another
hits
power up
you,
just
you hit the floor.
because.
Oh man! All right, I didn't mean to upset you, Granty Poo. That was more to upset Santi when he eventually listens.
I need more power. I'm just gonna level up. Oh, level up again. Oh, I'm gonna get beat again. Oh, I'm just gonna level up again. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
tell me
gonna
you haven't
lose.
seen the series without telling me you haven't seen the
useless
series.
power up. Ah, I'm screaming again. Oh, useless power up. 25 power ups later.
Hey, this is the
Yeah,
Cartoon Network. What are we doing here? Yeah. Back to Samurai.
Cut
to the goat, Samurai Jack. Cut it. Samurai Jack will cut it.
And on that note, guys, I think we're good. I think we hit all the Cartoon
What do you
Network
mean?
series. Do you have
Who's
anything?
your favorite?
Did I not say Dexter's?
Oh, you said.
Oh,
Dexter's.
yeah.
You did say Dexter's.
Dexter's.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
I thought mine was
you might
number
have.
one.
You might have.
Dexter's Samurai Jack is number 2, and then when we do the list later, you
You'll
guys
see.
will see how I arrange it all.
And let us know how we did. I would love to see whose list comes out on top, because I just think mine's top tier. I think mine is the S tier list.
And I think I know the answer to this question, but before we go, I'm going to hit the both of you guys. Cartoon Network versus Disney versus Nickelodeon versus Kids WB versus Fox Kids. Who do you think had the best cartoons?
For me, it's Cartoon Network. I think Cartoon Network.
Absolutely.
the
I've
best.
always been a Cartoon Network kid. The way I always like to think about it is, what was the station that you watched, and when a commercial came on, you flipped it to the other channel?
Yeah, no, like
I was on Cartoon Network, commercial would come on. Let's see what's on Nickelodeon.
So for me, exactly. Like I would go Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. Unfortunately, dude, like I got 2 sisters and we were always fighting over the remote. So I usually lost. So I watched a lot of Disney Channel. Not to say Disney Channel didn't have great shows, but you know,
the best of both worlds.
if I had to choose one,
I took it slow, and he rocks out the
if I had to choose one, it's Cartoon Network.
I mean,
every day.
For me, like I think that all of them have bangers. Like Cartoon Network, obviously, has a lot of bangers. For me, I think it would go Nickelodeon though. SpongeBob, Hey Arnold, Rugrats. Like to me, like I was reverse. I had Nickelodeon on, and then I would swap to Cartoon Network. And Dexter's Lab, Courage the Cowardly Dog would be on, Samurai Jack, and Ed and Eddie. Like when I was in the mood to watch something funny, I'd go from watching SpongeBob to Ed, Ed, and Eddy, and there was almost virtually no drop off. And SpongeBob is also regarded as one of the greatest shows of all time. But for me, it's Nickelodeon.
It's tough. I respect that absolutely. I think that there's no wrong answers here. I think in the longevity of it, I think Cartoon Network kept having bangers as time went on. Because, you grow up a bit, you stop watching cartoons as much, but, we still know shows like that are coming out. These Steven universes or regular shows or Adventure Time and stuff like that.
Yep.
Whereas, Nickelodeon, I'm not saying that they haven't had their big hits too with kids and the audiences now, but I can't think of
name one within the last 10 years.
Yeah, once Avatar kind of hit,
oh, okay. Well, we can't.
No, but I'm saying after Avatar and Korra, I can't really think of big hits that are out now. You had those Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutrons, and then they tapered off, and you don't really get those big bangers anymore.
So
I will say this: I agree with Grant in the sense if Avatar is playing, dude, which this is not an Avatar episode, this is a Cartoon Network episode, but
check out our last episode where me, Grant, and Santi did a 2-parter on Avatar: The Last Airbender, Flashback Cartoon Hour. Found out on
in American cartoons, especially that being really the biggest American anime type thing. I don't think there was a better show put out for us than Avatar, but as a studio.
So you're saying Avatar over Samurai Jack, though?
Yes, I would put Avatar over Samurai. Samurai Jack is my favorite Cartoon Network show. Cartoon Network Studios, I would prefer over Nickelodeon. But as a show as a whole, there isn't a better one. Storytelling, characters, environment, all of that
humor,
shit.
humor,
No, everything that plays in.
I get it.
There's nothing better than Avatar.
I do.
Don't get me wrong. The consistency in Cartoon Network is great, but what show to me to this day do I quote every day at work with my friends that everybody understands references from? That is SpongeBob. That is
100%.
SpongeBob. 100%. You can quote every episode.
Yeah, I think SpongeBob in quotability is the most quotable cartoon of all time ever. I think that series is just more than any of these series. Although I love Cartoon Network more, although I love these series more, I think that SpongeBob, especially those first 3 years the first 3 seasons that Steve Hillenburg did before he left after the movie.
They don't miss.
Literally,
the movie doesn't miss.
Well, that was his last big thing, and then he left, and you could tell the episodes, the quality. They stopped hand drawing. They did more computer animation to it, and it kind of fell off at that point. But those first 3 seasons, dude. Everybody knows him. My dad loves SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob.
My dad too.
You know what I mean? Nico's gonna love SpongeBob. These are the things. It's SpongeBob's great. But getting back to Cartoon Network, so we have Dexter's Lab, we have Samurai Jack, and we have, you said Ed, and Eddy as your number one.
Yep.
Good choices, boys. All right. At that point, it's been a pleasure. If you guys have anything you want to say, if you have any other things you want to promote or tell people where they can find you or anything, do a spot now, and then I'll wrap it up.
And make sure you vote on the poll. Who did it best? Did we all come together and create the best list? Or out of our each individual lists, who did it best? I would really like to see what people say. And if you have your own list, please post it. I would love to see them. Give some feedback.
Any closing statements, Great Poo?
We all know Ben 10 beats Goku. That's all I gotta say.
Ben 10 coming out of backfield, baby.
Dude, everybody fucking throws that alien.
I'm trying to trigger. That's it. I'm just trying to trigger.
I'm untriggerable, buddy. Shoop. But on that note, remember, as Captain Planet would say, and remember these 3 golden rules, otherwise he'll come to your house and beat the fuck out of you.
That's right.
fight pollution, save the planet, and as always, be good to yourselves. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good morning and have a good night.
That was good.